Hela. Good day, everyone. I'm going to tell you a little story about how at Bayside Middle School, we all pulled together to carve a traditional canoe under the guidance of Pakwachin carver Curtis Henry. I'd like to acknowledge that the stories and teachings that Curtis shared with us during the whole process were passed down to him by his grandfather, Quinam, who was also a canoe builder. This is the same cultural name that Curtis carries today, and a name that will be continued to be passed down in his family. Our canoe carving was a school-wide project, and it was designed to have our school population work as a team to honor the rich culture of the Saanich people of the Saanich Peninsula. This involved having our whole school, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, working together towards a common ground of understanding. This was a 14-month-long process, and it started in April 2014 and went to June 2015. We wanted our students to gain an authentic, meaningful, and complete experience, so we started from the ground up by showing them the standing tree first. This was done by taking 2 class reps who were chosen from each of our divisions to share in this experience. There was a lot of love shown for this tree when the kids gathered around to see it standing majestically in the forest, and to know that it would become a canoe through our collective action. As part of this trip, we also showed them a canoe that Curtis had previously carved so that they could try and visualize how we would go from the standing tree to carving a canoe that could actually be paddled on the water. There was definitely a lot of excitement in the air. Before falling the tree, we had 3 First Nation students come out to the site and give a blessing in Sanchothan and English. Sanchothan is the language of the land on the Saanich Peninsula, and it is being incorporated into our regular routines at Bayside. This blessing was an important element to the project, one that incorporated the cultural practice of giving thanks before doing work, and to help us to set our intentions of our work together with good minds, good hearts, and good spirits. Then the tree was felled, and it came down beautifully due to the planning, teamwork, precision, and gratefulness expressed. As it fell, it looked like it was gently falling onto a bed of feathers. This falling really emphasized the words of only working with good feelings, and set the stage for what was a recurring theme throughout our project. After the tree was felled and Curtis cut a log to the length of the canoe, there were several steps to getting our log towards being a canoe. This process started with having several trips to the tree site and to do the work that would be needed to complete in the forest. On our first field trips, we had a rotation of 3 stations where every class came and helped strip the bark from the log, then learned about powwow drumming from Donald and Angela Williams, and then learned more about canoe pulling at the beach with Sanchothan teacher Ivy Seward. After the initial work was complete, it was time to let the log season in the forest for about 6 months. Before leaving the log for the summer, we planted a new cedar sapling as a way of giving back to the forest that had supplied us with our tree, and to recognize the importance of being respectful of the natural resources in our local environment. In the fall, with school back in session, we came back to the forest with small groups of students to help shape the canoe further by carving out a large portion of the inside of the canoe. Once it was light enough to move, we had a final field trip to the tree site in which 2 student reps from each division in the school helped to move the canoe from the tree site down through the forest and onto the truck to move it to Bayside, all led by drummers and singers Donald and Angela Williams. This step really brought out the need for teamwork again, as it took a big group of students and staff to carry the canoe at this point in the carving process. Back at Bayside, students from every division lined in the hallways from the front door to the carving classroom to welcome the canoe home to Bayside as it was drummed into the school. Some members of the community and of Curtis's family joined in for the welcome as well. According to Curtis, this school-wide procession and welcome was something that had not been done before, and he felt very moved by the honor and respect shown to this project by the entire Bayside population. We held a brief ceremony once the canoe was in the school to emphasize the point of working together and working with good feelings. Community members, trustees, staff, and students were all in attendance. Then the finer carving began as each class rotated through the carving room to continue to help shape the canoe using chisels and hammers. While we spent the next several months carving with one class at a time, Curtis shared many stories and teachings with us that really translated into life lessons. And some of these teachings were things such as, be proud of your name and of who you are. Do things that make your family proud. Honor your parents and thank them for what they do for you. Only put good feelings into your work. If you feel bad or upset, hang your bad feelings on the nail outside the door before you come in. If you feel the need to pick those feelings up on the way out, feel free to do so, or just let them go. Keep working together. Paddling requires unison, and it's harder than it looks. This is often the same experience as working in groups in general, but teamwork pays off. Appreciate those who came before you, and take time to listen to teachings that are shared with you. You may not realize the importance now, but at some point in your life, those teachings may come back to help you. After the canoe had been sanded, Curtis finished it with varnish and turquoise paint, which is our school color. In June 2015, our canoe was complete. We had a launch ceremony at Sneakwip, which is Todd Inlet, in Brentwood. There was participation from students, community members, and our staff. This was when the canoe was unveiled, and when the students could see it finished with our school color painted onto it. One of our teachers, Ed Timmermans, had also written a very powerful song that he named the Canoe Song, which was about the history of contact. He played this song at the ceremony, and it really touched the hearts and minds of those people present, as it summed up why it is so important for all of us, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, to work together to make a better future for all. After the ceremony, we celebrated by having one of our students, Jasper Morris, who is a local canoe puller himself, take the first ride. There was lots of cheering. As our Sinchothan teacher, Ivy Seward, put it, this was a day that the healing was happening. Overall, it was a project that took time, included traditional teachings, and involved togetherness in ways that allowed us to have a legacy of our collective learning and efforts, and that can be built on for years to come. It is with great appreciation for my good friend Curtis Henry, or as he has become affectionately known by the Bayside students as the Canoe Guy, that I would like to raise my hands to him in thanks and say Haishka Siem Quinam. Thank you, my highly respected friend. Your guidance, sharing, inspiration, and generosity of spirit will always be remembered fondly as we continue to pull together to embrace traditional ways of knowing in our classrooms and in our lives. Thank you.
Well, then now is the time, and we can comprehend it if we're all in attendance with both hearts and minds to see the peoples of this coast standing proudly descended. Take great pride in the nations, all their hearts and souls. So let's all pull together from what was apart. Pull together, make some maze and make a start. Yeah, let's pull together from the past, take away a deeper understanding of where we stand today. A deeper understanding of where we stand today.